Is Brilliant Stars on the same path as Evolving Skies? Is Evolving Skies having an impact on Brilliant Stars? We're going to jump into those questions as we review the market for Brilliant Stars in just a few minutes here. But before we begin, what is going on, Fan Clan? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Danny Phantump. Happy Tuesday. I hope you guys are all doing well. I hope you're having a great week so far. Brilliant Stars has been a little bit crazy, and it's the most recent set that came out. It came out at the end of February, so it's been about a month and a half since it's been released. We're kind of smack dab in the middle right now between releases. We had Brilliant Stars about a month and a half ago. A little over a month from now, we'll have Astral Radiance come out, so we're right smack dab in the middle. And I really like to look at set reviews about a month and a half after a set comes out, because then you get that two-week stretch, that two-week honeymoon over, when you see a lot of prices crashing after a set releases because a lot of singles hit the market as product gets open, and then you see really the span of a month what singles really start doing, and it gives us a better understanding of where the market is for those specific singles as well as the sealed product. Now, before we jump into the actual spreadsheet, I do want to talk about Brilliant Stars sealed product in specifically around the booster boxes, because if you remember, I talked about a month and a half ago now, right after Brilliant Stars released, we got Wave 2 in right away. Wave 2 was supposed to be coming out in April. It ended up coming out within 2 weeks after the set released, and then I said, it's okay, there is going to be a Wave 3, and that is still true. There is going to be a Wave 3 that comes out sometime in May. We do not have an idea of when that is going to come. Smack dab in the middle probably of all these other collection boxes. We did a video last week about all the collection boxes that are releasing. We have more collection boxes coming out next week. We have the Arceus figure collection coming out in May, along with Pokeball tins and a lot of other stuff that's coming out in May. There's just so many products coming out. There is going to be a Wave 3 of Brilliant Stars. However, it is going to be very, very small. It is going to be very limited. So when we start talking about waved releases and we start talking about Brilliant Stars, somewhere around, I think, comparable to what we saw for some of the reprints at the end of November of last year. So Wave 3 of Evolving Skies, the new wave of Darkness Ablaze, the new wave of Vivid Voltage, where it did have an impact on the pricing, but more so because of the amount of products that kind of hit the market. I do not expect. Now, first of all, I want to preface this by saying this is just my opinion. I want you to believe what you want to believe, what you think, and we're going to talk later on this week about investing time and doing proper research and things like that, because I think that's super important to make your own opinion. We're just going to provide information here, but I don't think we're going to see a situation like what we saw with Evolving Skies, where booster boxes drop down to $100 because we had this significant reprint. I do think they're going to drop, but nowhere near that amount. I think Evolving Skies was a little bit unique because a lot of companies were in severe trouble. A lot of LGSs were trying to turn this product as quickly as possible because of the overwhelming amount of product that was hitting the market, because we did have Vivid Voltage, we did have Darkness Ablaze, we did have a second and third wave of Evolving Skies, we did have a second and third wave of Fusion Strike, we had a second wave of Chilling Reign, we had all this Celebrations product. Collection boxes, while they're still force allocated, they are not nearly as expensive as what we might have to put in to a booster box, as far as wholesale pricing goes. So there's not going to be as much of an upfront investment when it comes to all those products. So I don't see Brilliant Stars kind of hitting that low. I think that if you can find it for about $120 when that Wave 3 hits, probably a decent price to kind of snatch up. But right now, booster boxes are settling for about $130 to $140. You can see this is all data based off of TCG Player. So there are other outlets that you could obviously use to buy product. Booster boxes, I was looking on eBay earlier, you can find right around $135, $140. They have climbed a little bit above MSRP on TCG Player. You can still find them for slightly cheaper. However, they are moving fast. Brilliant Stars is moving fast, and that's why I was talking before about Evolving Skies having an impact on Brilliant Stars, because let's face it, Evolving Skies, Brilliant Stars, probably the top two sets, maybe even in that order, of the Sword and Shield block. And when Evolving Skies is getting to a price point where it is too expensive for people to invest their money in, people are going to look at alternative options. So they're going to be like, I like Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars is still a good set. I'm going to spend my money on that instead, because Evolving Skies at $180 is just too expensive. I'll wait around and see if they reprint it. Which brings me into a good segue of saying, hey guys, we're doing a Danny Phantump reprint of Evolving Skies because they haven't announced one yet. And since what that means is we are giving away an Evolving Skies booster box every single week on this channel. If you want to enter to win, all you have to do is go back to the video that I posted last week Friday, leave a like, leave a comment, make sure you're subscribed, and you will be entered to win. Every Friday we're going to announce a new winner. So this upcoming Friday, we will announce the winner from last week's video. And then since there's still no reprint, we're going to keep giving away boxes every single week until a reprint comes or the end of 2022. Okay, enough of me pitching my own channel. Let's talk about Brilliant Stars a little bit more in depth here. Right now, we're sitting around $140 for a booster box as far as market pricing goes. The high point it actually hit a couple weeks ago, right at the end of March. It was at $144.54. Now, we're only analyzing data right now over the past month. Its low point was $126.70, which it hit a couple weeks after release, right at the beginning of March. And if you remember, that is when Wave 2 really started hitting. So it dropped down to closer to that 120 mark. I remember you were able to find them on eBay for 110, 115, and then started driving up right away because people were so interested in this set. Now, there was a lot of hype behind this set, but I also do think Evolving Skies, being as expensive as it is, does play an impact on this. So as we move forward, you might see some of these cards start sneaking up in price because of the lack of people opening products. Same thing like what we see with Evolving Skies, where Evolving Skies continues to climb. Some of those singles are following suit because it doesn't make as much sense to open up that product to chase that $350, $375 Umbreon. So you might start seeing cards like this Charizard V alternate art start to climb a little bit. We're looking at the past month of data here for the alternate art Charizard V. 205.74 was its high point, which it hit at the beginning of March. So a couple weeks after release, it's dropped down to 184.76, which it actually hit about a week ago, and now it's just starting to tick up a little bit. So we might level off a little bit, and it might go up a little bit depending on how big this reprint actually is that hits us next May or in May. But from what I'm told, it's significantly smaller than what we would have seen from Wave 2. So it's sitting at 185.88 right now. The Rainbow Rare Charizard V-Star going down quite a bit. Started out at 184.29 at the beginning of March, and then kind of just sank ever since then. It's sitting at 151.76 right now, which is just about 10 cents above its 1 month low, which it hit, a week or so ago. If we move on to the Arceus V alternate art, this one is actually at its month low right now, sitting at 53.13. $70.26 is its high point, which it hit at the beginning of March, sunk down since then. Same thing with the Arceus V gold card. That one started at 65.28 at the beginning of the month. It's dropped substantially down to 51.06. You can see it kind of leveled off a little bit, and then over the last couple weeks, it's really kind of dropped significantly. If we look at the full art Charizard V, this one's a little bit different. It's gone up and down, but for the most part, it's stayed relatively flat. It's actually closer to its 1 month high. It's closer to where it was after the product released. 45.89 was its high point, which it hit the beginning of March. Then it dropped down to 39.82. It's risen back up and down, up and down, up and down, but hovering right around that $42, $43 mark. It's sitting right now at $43.32. If we look at the Arceus V-Star, this is going to be a very interesting one because this is going to be in competitive play for quite some time. So you may see this card hang around this price and maybe even go up a little bit. You can see it hit $39.60 as its high point much later than what a lot of these other cards have. So it hit its high point kind of in the middle of March rather than the beginning of March like what you saw from a lot of these other ones. And that's because we started having regional impacts, regional effects. And when you start having competitive play impacting these cards, prices are going to fluctuate quite a bit. So it hit $39.60 as its high. It's dropped down a little bit, sitting at $30.39 currently, just a tick above its 1 month low, which is $29.94. If we look at the Rainbow Rare Arceus V-Star, very interesting because this one is selling for less than the normal rare. $38.15 was its high point, which had actually recently hit kind of near the end of March, then went down a little bit, and now it's kind of sunk a lot, down to $31.45. If we look at the Galarian Moltres V, kind of an outlier in here, right? From what we've seen, this one's actually climbing quite a bit. It started out at $24.56 at the beginning of March. We talked about this when we started reviewing the market for Brilliant Stars, and we said some of these cards might be a little bit undervalued because there was so much being opened right out of the get-go, but some of these Galarian bird cards that a lot of people were super excited about might be a little less than what you might see them go for in the future. And sure enough, here we are, $24.56. It shot up quite a bit at $29.10, which it hit about a week ago, and now it's dropped off about $1, so it's sitting at $28.17. If we look at the Galarian Zapdos, kind of following the same suit, went down a little bit, now it's starting to rise back up, currently sitting at $27.02. Its low point of $24.88. It actually hit very recently, right at the end of March. Its high point of $28.23. It hit right in the middle of March, and then it went down to its low point. Now it's kind of sitting much closer to its 1 month high at $27.02. If we look at the Gold Ultra Ball, $24.66 is its low point. Again, it hit that kind of in the middle of March and then started climbing a little bit. Now it's kind of leveled off a little bit. It's dropped down to $26.60, so it's about 10% off of its 1 month high of $29.31. And then if we look at the Arceus V full art, be interesting to see what happens with this. A lot of competitive players focus more on those regular art varieties because they don't want to spend as much money on their competitive decks. 27.89 is its high point, which it hit right at the beginning of March, then slowed down a little bit to 21.16, which is actually its 1 month low, and it's been steadily starting to trickle up a little bit, sitting at 24.61 right now. Marnie's Pride, another one I wanted to look at because I was very interested when this card came out at how far it dropped, how hard it dropped. 31.58 is its high point, 22.02 is its low point, which it hit just about a week ago, and now it's currently sitting at 23.48, so much closer to that 1 month low, and you can see it's just consistently going down. If we look at the Charizard V-Star, 22.49 is its high point, which it hit kind of in the tail end of March, right around March 20th or so, then started going down a little bit, hit $17.10 at the beginning of April. It's rebounded a little bit. It's gained about $1.50 back since then, but still closer to that 1 month low. If we look at the Arceus V regular art, I wanted to highlight this one because this one does have a severe competitive impact, and it is going to be impacted greatly based off of the availability of the Arceus figure collection that is coming out next month. When that card hits the format and you see all of these promos that are now available to be played, it could really impact the price point of this. You're sitting at $15.92 as its high point, which it hit at the beginning or middle of March, and then it went down a little bit, but not a whole lot. It hit $10.60 recently, but with competitive play and tournaments really starting to ramp back up. We have some coming up in May where there's quite a few of them, plus Germany internationals. There's a lot going on. This Arceus V could start climbing a little bit. It could see significant drops because of the promo that's coming out. $10.60 was its low point. Currently it's sitting at $12.22. I wanted to include some of the trainer gallery cards, so we've got 6 of them highlighted in here. I'll go through them fairly quickly, but I think the trainer gallery cards are very interesting because a lot of people thought that these were going to drop like rocks right away, but because of the variety of them, because of how many there are, and because of the differences in the pull rates, if you watch our pull rate video, we highlight the fact that the TG 16 and on, so 16 through 30, those cards are substantially more difficult to pull than the first 15. There will be a lot of boxes that you open up where you pull multiple copies of those first 15 trainer gallery cards, those ones that are numbered TG1 through TG15, and then after that, starting with that Bolton V, it really changes a lot. A lot changes when it comes to how easily they are to pull, and that's why you have some of these hanging on very strong as far as price points go. The Umbreon VMAX, $37.98, which it hit right at the middle of March. It did fall down near the end of March to $33, but now it's climbed up a little bit, currently sitting at $35.02. Definitely the fan favorite when it comes to the trainer gallery cards. But Sylveon VMAX also performing very, very well. $30.45 was its high point, which it hit at the beginning of March, dropped down to $24.68 a couple weeks ago, and now it's started to climb a little bit back up, sitting at $26.54. Then we've got this gorgeous Sylveon V, $24.15, it hit at the beginning of March, dropped down to $18.47 right around March 25th. It started to gain a little bit back, but it's only up about $1 from where it was a few weeks ago, so it's kind of leveled off fairly consistently, sitting at $19.79 currently. If we look at the Umbreon V, $22.97. This one has seen a decent dip, dropped down to $16.68 on March 25th, rose up a little bit, and then kind of went back down. So right now it's sitting just about 50 cents above its 1 month high at $17.18. Then we've got this really cool looking Mimikyu VMAX card. $21.68 was its high point, which it hit at the beginning of March, but it's consistently going down after that. And then over the last couple weeks, it's hit a substantial dip down to $17.01 a couple weeks ago, and now it's sitting at $17.09. Finally, the Gloria card, $19.22, whereas is where it was at the beginning of March. It fell down to $14.55, so it lost roughly 30% of that. Fell down right at the beginning of April, and then it's climbed up a little bit, so it's up about $1.50, currently sitting at $16.12. I wanted to highlight a lot of these cards so that way you get a better understanding of where the market is, and some of these cards might be worth looking at now because we may be in a situation like what we are with Evolving Skies, where we don't know if there's going to be additional product that's going to hit the market, that's going to drive some of these singles down. People run into FOMO situations, and before you know it, you're paying over $300 for an Umbreon VMAX that you could have had a few months ago at $160 a piece. I also wanted to just put in here some notes. Mimikyu V, the Acerols Premonition, the Rapid Strike, Urshifu VMAX, and the Single Strike Urshifu VMAX, plus the Bolton V. Those 5 cards are all selling for a market price above $10. Again, those are trainer gallery cards. So the trainer gallery cards, much less of an impact due to their availability as what we were originally anticipating. We thought they were going to drop 80%, fall to $2, $3 a piece. And you do have that for a lot of trainer gallery cards, but a lot of those are kind of immune to it because they are so difficult to pull. So I hope you guys like the information. Let me know what you think down below. Definitely leave a comment and leave a like because it goes a long way for the algorithm. Hit that subscribe button if you already haven't hit subscribe. It goes a long way to our goal. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers this year, and thanks to you guys, we're going to keep giving this stuff away as we grow bigger and bigger, because it's all because of you, and you guys deserve it. So thank you so much. I will see you guys tomorrow we'll be live, and then Thursday we'll have another video. It's going to be a great week. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.